I think we are live. It's right away. Hello, everyone. This is the first time technical difficulties maybe occur, but we have a special guest today, Daniel Batal, and it's a pleasure to have you here today, Daniel.
Thank you for having me with you, Nico. I appreciate that. It's nice to be here.
Absolutely. By the way, congratulations on your 100,000 subscribers that you recently reached.
Yeah, that was a grind getting here.
I bet.
It took a little bit of work, come to find out. Hey, everybody in the chat. Harley, good to see you. Nice to see you, Leela. Mick, nice to see you too.
Absolutely. Darren, how are you doing? Tinker Man Mike. Great chats all the time, by the way. We are also discussing deeply the YouTube algorithms and such on Messenger, like we do, Daniel, right?
Oh my gosh. If you people only knew how much Nico and we don't get in fights, but we get passionate about this stuff.
Exactly. And by the way, the features that we will discuss today in Morningfame are super inspired by you, Daniel. Everyone who is in the early access program knows that as linked content in the algorithm tab, but now we have in the keyword research tool some features based on, I think 2 weeks ago, right? You did the live stream over at TubeBuddy about your whole strategy that brought you to...
Are we allowed to use the TubeBuddy word here on the Morningfame channel?
Absolutely. We all know there are many tools, right?
No, we know all of us over at TubeBuddy love you guys here at Morningfame and vice versa. So that's one of the reasons I'm a big fan of Morningfame is you're like one of our family too. So this is really great. I love seeing the new features you've been putting into it. It's today's feature, I think, is going to really blow people's minds. Just because it's something that I don't think any other tool is doing right now. And it's been really geared around the kind of things that Nico and I talk about, and the strategies that were able to get me from 10,000 subscribers a year ago to over 100,000 today, less than a year later. So I'm psyched about this one today, pal. This is going to be fun.
Absolutely. I was so stoked to see your presentation 2 weeks ago, and now we try to take it the same way with our own spin again. It's really deep because ultimately that gets you into suggested and home, and that's where we want to get to, right? Yeah. And you really showed how it's done. Hi Gamel Sami, how are you doing? A friend from Germany, right? And Christian, welcome to the stream. You have both TubeBuddy and Morningfame. Perfect. Yeah, exactly. I mean, these they have an overlap, both tools, but both do several things uniquely. So a combination of this, you are definitely well equipped. And Stephanie, how are you doing? Long time no, I think, yeah. Last comment is a little bit ago, right? Detrucci, how are you doing? Passion is so important indeed. And Daniel, it's really impressive how you evolved, right? You had a different job before, and now you really doubled down on doing your YouTube career and made it possible. I mean, in 1.5 years, right? Before when you started your channel?
Yeah, it was January of this channel that I have now, I started in July of 2018. So we're just shy of the 2-year mark on the Daniel Batal channel. So wow. This has been a lot of fun. And I stopped working. You know, I had a channel before with my son, Extreme Food Reviews, for about a year. And that one was, so yeah, it's been, I became full-time content creator as of January of 2019, I guess. So it's been a little over a year and a half.
Yeah, perfect.
And so your bit rate looks a little low, just reading the chat. You maybe just a quick little gear check down below us where it says cam mic with the gear settings. Click on that. Yeah. Make sure your resolution is set for the highest possible that StreamYard will allow, which I believe is 720.
It is, yes. Okay, cool. Is.
Okay. So one of the things with this platform, guys, is that sometimes it likes to compress us and bandwidth gets weird. So if we get a little fuzzy, shout us out. If you can't hear us, okay, let us know in the chat, and we'll do our best to keep this thing rolling and smooth. It's the information that's important. So they should
Awesome,
really
awesome.
blur out my face. I mean, look at Nico is clearly a better looking man than I am.
I don't know about that.
So listen, Nico, tell these people in the chat room exactly what we're talking about here.
All right. Okay. So what we are talking about today is how we can ultimately create binge watch sessions on YouTube. This is what the YouTube algorithms really love. And it starts somewhere, right? And we are talking about how we jumpstart all that. Yeah, what you practice on your channel. And by the way, may I show your Morningfame algorithm tab real quick?
Mine? Sure.
Yeah.
Whatever you want.
All
There's
right.
no naked photos of me in that, is there? We don't want to scare people away. The stream has only just begun.
So we have here Daniel Batal, right? And you can see here the top algorithms that are driving traffic for him are home and suggested videos, right? This is where we are aiming to get to. And really, we are talking about your strategy, Daniel, that got you there. And even though, for everyone to know, by the way, hi, Leela, how you doing? Very similar, who knows Leela and not Daniel. He does a similar channel than Leela, doing tutorials about editing videos with Filmora, right? And this is a how-to channel. And as you can see, you know what? I just realized I didn't share my screen, did I?
No, you got to add it in there. Everyone, you're like, look at these analytics. Look at Daniel's wonderful analytics. And they're like, what? There it is.
Okay, so once again, here you see the statistics from Daniel's channels. These are the top algorithms that drive views to your channel, right? Mm-hmm. And this is a how-to channel, yeah, how to do the video editing. And obviously, this is super well suited for search. And that is also what you focus on, especially, right? But with the addition we are talking about today, you brought up the home and suggested to be even above YouTube search in terms of views. Not because YouTube search is low, because suggested videos and home are so much higher, right?
Yeah.
So
well, here's the key, right, Nico? Like I think we all know how important all traffic sources are, and I try to tell people, and I think you agree that a channel that really starts gaining traction, if you have a channel that's being recommended by YouTube, that channel will never grow faster than when the platform itself starts recommending your content. So tools like Morningfame that are so great to leverage keyword research. I think sometimes people think that keyword research equals search, but there's so much more than that, right? Because keyword research also lets us understand the conversations that our audience is having, to understand the language that they speak, which can be just as important as in suggested and the browse features as it can be in search. So learning these languages and learning how they type things in the search engine and learning what's important to the very people we're trying to make videos for is all of it, right? So if you can work it together, I just think that a lot of people go, I understand search. I know how to use Morningfame. I understand the grades. I know how to get into search. But how the heck do I get YouTube to start recommending my content? That's one of the things I think that's the next tier, the harder thing to understand, the harder thing to grab onto, because I think a lot of creators don't think that they have any input or ability to control and motivate that, but you actually do. And the features we're going to see today, well, man, I'm telling you, it's going to be, you have more power than you had yesterday. It's going to be very cool.
Exactly. It is okay. It just to give you an understanding, by the way, what is very common, especially for small YouTubers, is that you sometimes have viral hits. I mean, we are not talking about million views or something. Yeah, some people have that, but you have a viral hit in terms that it's like 5 times more views or 10 times more views than you usually get on your videos. And this is really like the best story for all the YouTubers when it happens the first time that one video surprisingly takes off. But the issue oftentimes is that it produces like this bump in views that go to the channel, but then it dies off afterwards because people have watched this viral video and then nothing happens afterwards. And this is kind of something, Daniel, you didn't really focus on this situation with your strategy, but it ties into the strategy because this is a common issue that many YouTubers have, that they're super happy about this viral hit, but then afterwards, their channel falls back to the same size, same traffic that they had before the viral hit. And what we are talking about today is some preparation, so to say, to make sure that those viral hits also disperse more views into the other videos that you have on your channel. And this way, you have more momentum coming from such viral hits. And basically, your channel jumps up to a new level where it then can, continue forward on a higher level, so to say.
Right.
And
listen, and be clear on this, everyone out there listening along and in the replay, is when we talk about viral hits, it's exactly what Nico said was, viral hit is just one that does a lot better than some of your other content. I have said for a very long period of time that sometimes an extremely successful viral hit can be the worst thing that happens to a channel who's ill prepared for that kind of attention. And this is one of the things we'll be incorporating today. I want you really to understand that. Sometimes I think people keep making videos one at a time thinking, will this one be my ticket to stardom? Will this one drive a lot of views? And it's such a backwards way to think about things, because if you do have one huge success and you've got no ability to know what to do next to capitalize on that kind of attention, that's exactly what will happen is what Nico was explaining, is that will get served out. And when it's hit its maximum people that YouTube wants to serve it to, it'll die down and you'll be sitting there saying, what happened? I was driving all kinds of views and now I've got nothing. So being able to build channels that are built for success, right? They have to be, your channel needs to be designed for success, no matter how that comes, whether that's a viral hit or a couple of videos that do really well, or whether that's a lot of content that over time starts to do really well together to start getting attention. You can have a video that you made, I have the strongest performing video on my channel overall. It was one of the first videos I made on my channel. I made with an old cell phone with a cracked screen, and that thing still drives, 1,000 views a day. But it didn't do anything out of the gate. It was very flat. And using things like the keyword research tool, I was able to position it so over time it got discovered in search. People found the video. YouTube was able to gather traffic data about that video and understand the viewer that video was a best fit for. So this is all the things we'll be talking about today, is figuring out how to really understand the audience and leverage your channel in a way that when you do start driving some views, you're prepared to keep that growth trajectory moving.
Exactly. And just to give you a better understanding, here is Daniel's channel. And as you see there, and as you see there, by the way, incredible. You are already at 104,000 subscribers. Just 1 week ago, you got your 100K, right? Do you already know if you get your silver play button soon, or?
Yeah, it was funny. They have this not to get into that too much, but there's a process where you let them know, you verify that you've hit the mark, and they acknowledged it, and then they said, yes, we've gotten your submittal, and then we just wait. I guess we'll see. I'll let you know when I get it. I got a spot all picked out in my house. I'm going to build my whole house around this one wall hanging.
Very special spot. I have way to go to reach that, but I certainly look forward to that as well. So you see his channel here, and the top videos are most of them are 1 year old, right? So it's certainly a long game that you play here with 500,000 views, like you see here, these effects, different effects that you can do with Filmora. And this is kind of, you can see like a viral hit in a sense, is some one-off thing that dies down afterwards. Hopefully you can retain the audience from that viral hit. But also what you have here with the how-to style channel, you have evergreen videos, and some of them just drive insane amount of traffic, like these 500,000 views videos here. And those continue, not just like a viral hit with one bump, but continue to drive new audiences to your channel. And the same technique works to disperse viewers into the rest of your archive videos, so that you can make like not just one view, but several views from the same viewer, basically.
Right.
And I think, although I plan to go into Morningfame in detail a little bit later, I think it's kind of important to talk about that now, because to give you all a better understanding what we are exactly talking about. Okay. So here in the Morningfame Optimize tab, right?
Now let's make sure that we, because there may be some people out there who don't know what this tab is. So quickly, we're in the keyword research tab and tool in tab 4, where we're actually looking at Morningfame's ability to take a keyword target that you've done some research on and take it to tab 4, where you actually start pre-building your whole video structure. You're putting your title together, you're putting your description together, you're putting your tags together, so that all of this is all set up. So when you do actually upload your video, Morningfame has all that information ahead of time that you just copy, paste, and boom, all that hard work is already prepared. This is your homework phase, getting all those things ready for when that video does get uploaded.
Exactly. And this kind of homework, basically, like you say, right? This is now extended to include what your strategy is in its core, right? It's much more than just the features, obviously, but it helps you at a very important step in this whole process. And yeah, Sub-Zero MNX, thank you very much. I'm glad that you like the tool. And this is so great to have extended it. Now, for example, here at the bottom, you have also the section for the pinned comment, right?
Well, let's explain here. Let's take one deep breath here. And I want to make sure people understand the importance of this, because I think it's important out there, Nico. One of the things that Nico and I talk a lot about is that very same thing, that trying to get the audience engaged in watching. He called it binge watching, which creating a binge session. And I want to make sure that everyone in the out there watching along or watching in the replay understands how important it is to get viewers to watch more than one piece of your content, right? There's a paradigm by which YouTube works. And I always try to come at YouTube at a very holistic approach, meaning I try to simplify it. A lot of people start seeing metrics and they get wrapped up in, well, what's my CTR, or what's my average view duration, or what's my average my retention? So I get strong audience retention. What's good? Is it 40%, 60%? And they get wrapped up in these individual metrics. And sometimes I think it's hard for people to grasp the idea that all of these things that Nico talks about, all of these things that we talk about, data, metric points, analytics, are all just components of understanding how well your content connects with the audience you're trying to reach. Okay. All of these are just so that they can be confusing, but they're really just trying to figure out, listen, YouTube is very simple. When you publish a video, YouTube puts that video in front of people in the form of an impression. It'll put it out in front of, even though I have over 100,000 subscribers, I certainly don't get my video put out in front of 100,000 people. It's a very small subset of those active subscribers or active viewers who have engaged with my content or your content, if it's your channel, recently, right? YouTube is trying to understand the viewer. So when we talk about these things that we're looking at now and trying to optimize, what we want to do is not just have one video that connects with them. What we really want to have happen is have multiple pieces of our content get served to that viewer. Because when you put up a video, let's say it does go viral for you. Maybe you usually get 100 views in the first day. You pop up a video and it drives 1,000 views in the first day. You're excited. You're like, oh my gosh, my video's driving 1,000 views. This is the best day of my life. The person watching that video is going, I love this video. This is a great video. But YouTube is sitting there thinking, what can I serve this viewer next to keep them watching? And the reason they do that is they want to keep them watching to serve ads and drive revenue. Really simple. That's YouTube's whole paradigm. Keep them watching, serve ads. So if we all know going in that YouTube, when a video is being served and getting views, that YouTube is immediately trying to understand that viewer and what they can serve them next to keep them watching, what we're trying to do is constantly put our thumb on that scale of viewer behavior to get that next piece of content to be one of ours. right? One of ours, because
Exactly.
that's going to help grow our channel more quickly. So I didn't mean to interrupt you there, Nico, but having people really understand why these new features you put in here are so important is really a game changer.
Exactly. It looks at first, these features look at first very simple, but there is a whole strategy behind it. We will tie it back to what YouTube officially says about that later on. You will see this is not just an invention or something. And obviously, Daniel, you proved it with your channel that it is really working. And so this is the purpose here, right? This is far beyond just the features that we are talking about.
And
let's take the beginning.
One step to talk about that with these features, because Nico and I talked about this. I'm going to add one more layer to this. One of the things that I talk to Nico a lot about, because again, we're like the kids group at the lunch table when you see our messenger. We're just constantly kibitzing about, is this important? Look at this. What about that? But one of the things that we really agree on is that we've talked a lot about, and it's not just us. I mean, it's where we follow guys like Daryl Leaves, we listen to Nick Nimmin, guys like Matt Geelan from Little Monster Media Co., guys like Brian G. Johnson. We really always talk about what we're seeing on the platform and what seems to be producing really good results. And one of the things that I've really stressed recently is, I think, like I said, when someone's watching one of your videos right now, and you know that YouTube is going to recommend another piece of content, how can we as creators try to leverage that, try to put our thumb on the scale? And I've told Nico, I said, listen, I feel that things like cards, things like end screens, things like links in your description above the fold. When I say above the fold, you know when it says show more? If you look at the description of a video, you get the first few lines, but then it says show more, and you have to click it to see more. Links above the fold and in the pinned comment. That's 4 places in any video that you as a creator can push that viewer towards another piece of your content. So Nico, show them what you got going on in here.
Exactly. Since you just said above the fold, right? I also included here this above the fold. So you can here as well in the preview, can click show more and show less, so that you see what part becomes above the fold.
That is so cool. That is so cool. So now when you're optimizing your description before you've ever even published the video yet, you're preparing, you're doing your homework, Morningfame now allows you to see exactly what other viewers will see in your description above the fold, above that show more mark. This is more powerful than I can even talk about, because one of the things that YouTube has come out and told us, if you go into YouTube support, into Google support on YouTube, and you look up the words suggested traffic includes videos found from links in the descriptions of other videos. So your ability to put a link in your description, have someone click it and watch your video, is one easy way to improve your suggested traffic. And now you can do it right inside of Morningfame above the fold. Before you've ever published, you can go look at right here. I know, like, if I get my link in that first section that you can see on screen before the show more, and you see, okay, you're above the fold. Now you know when you copy and paste this into your video, when you publish, anything above that line is going to be visible without having to click show more. So powerful. So powerful.
Let's just do an example here. I didn't use it in this case because it's a live stream. It's kind of a special situation, but now I have one line left again. I just removed this one sentence, and now I can, for example, I have a video about linked content. I name it. Let's say these strategies, right? I can select this video, and now it's included here above the fold. So you have the link in the description, even without clicking show more. So
did you see what he just did? Nico, click on that link again. Morningfame now has an insert video link that you can now search through your own content. It'll pull up your videos. You can use the search function and find the video that you want to pin above the fold right from your own channel without having to go open your channel, try to search through your content, find the link, come back into Morningfame. It does it all for you right here. Right here.
plain and simple, right?
Love it.
Yeah,
I love this. I love this.
exactly. And this way, you can easily include those links. And in this case, let's remove that again, so that yeah, you just have linked it all up, and the same thing, of course, for the pinned comment, right? So in this case, what could we do here? The idea obviously is not just to link a comment, but also to motivate people to watch that video, right? Otherwise, just a link, who knows whether we want to click. I mean, we always talk about the click-through rate on YouTube. We should have good thumbnails and titles so people click our videos. The same goes for our recommendations, what to watch next in our metadata. So in the comments, so let's say in this case, we are talking about how to get into recommended. And then, for example, let's say in this particular case, we explain you the strategy behind all that. And you might have heard that suggested videos, for example, which would be one goal to reach to get into there as well, with this technique we explained today, is that people believe suggested videos is only something for large channels. And since you're at 100K subscribers now, they might consider, yeah, you're an example for a large channel. For you, it's easy. It's not easy. And at the same time, it is easy with this strategy. But I want to give you proof that it's also possible to be working for small channels. So I could even small channels can get into suggested videos with this strategy. Here is proof, yeah, for example. So everyone who doubts that it is also possible for small channels, here I have a suggested videos. This is a case study of a 1,000 subscriber channel that successfully managed that. So now I have a pinned comment that has a pitch here, right? It explains why should people watch it next. So I assume some have doubts. It's working for small channels as well. So here I have a case study which answers that and clears those doubts up.
I love how humble you are that you just gloss over the fact that you've also added an insert video link option. So you not only in the description is it right there. Man, I'm gonna have to be your best salesman here. Those of you people who have used the keyword research tool, this is brand new. Not just the ability to pin a comment and have it ready to copy and paste right there, but you can do the same thing. There's the ability to, again, search your channel. Just by dropping in a few words, it'll help you find that content from your channel quickly and be able to grab the link in Morningfame so it's prepared. It's in your homework. Morningfame is doing all of the work for you. It's giving you all of the options to move quickly, move effectively, and have your complete, all of your optimization done. So when you do publish this video, you've got your description optimized with links setting up to another piece of content. You've got your pinned comment ready to go, copy and paste, so you can drop it in with everything all set to go, link ready. Bam, it is done. This is the way that you will start gaining ground in places like suggested and home, the browse features, the recommended areas, by being able to quickly optimize your video so that your content recommends more of your own content. I love this. I mean, I love this so much. I love it.
Exactly. And it starts as simple as I always forget about the pinned comment. Now that we prepare it as well, alongside with all the other metadata, once the stream replay is up, I just copy it here, and then with that can create my pinned comments afterwards once it becomes available for the replay, right? And this is ultimately something that teaches the YouTube algorithm, basically, where could people go next, right? We already talked about that. So this, by the way, is all the features that I just released here. And now let's go deeper into this strategy.
Well, wait a minute. First of all, guys, in the chat, people out there watching in the replay, how cool are these new updates? If you understand what Nico just showed you, give us a hashtag yes down in the chat right now. Check out these features. Now this is already released to everybody. Is everybody who's using Morningfame right now can access it? This is awesome. He gave it to me a couple of days early. I get to play with it. I love hashtag yes, hashtag yes. Great. So you guys understand exactly
Awesome.
how easy it is now to add links to other pieces of content on your channel in your description and in your pinned comment and have it all ready and optimized when you publish. Yes, 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 yes. Love it. So
Exactly.
yeah, so
Thank you very
strategy
much.
here, man, this is so big. I'm sorry I get overexcited. When you told me you were doing this, I'm like, this is a game changer. This is a game changer. I spend more time having to go open up multiple windows and grab things and go to my comments and I got to have that ready to pin and it's a game changer. This allows me to do all of those things quickly and effectively. My workflow, I'm always saying the hardest thing as a YouTube content creator is time management, trying to find the time to do all these things. So to have this all optimized, so I know when I publish I just open up Morningfame and everything I need to have to make sure that my content is recommending more of my content intentionally. I've chosen the links that it's going to push out to. Game changer. This is a game changer.
Absolutely. I think so too. And incredibly, it took me, I mean, these are simple things in the end, right? But it took me with your live stream to understand, like, for years, this tab was already existing. Pin comment existed for years already. But now I understood I have to include it in there. Thank you, Daniel. And this kind of, the interesting part is, since you are using these features, this is the pin comment, like we see here, and the description where you can put in links as well. Plus, of course, and the same thing applies to cards and end screens, right? So these are the 4 different techniques, features on YouTube that you can use in order to recommend more videos from your channel so that people binge watch on your own channel more. And the interesting effect here is that when you do this, and especially since the basis should always be you have a lot of active viewers on your channel that keep coming back to watch your videos, they are more inclined, of course, to watch more on your channel because you know already you do great content and all that. And they are the first usually to click those links, watch more content. And for the YouTube algorithms, the recommendation system in particular, which is part the home algorithm as well as the suggested videos algorithm, that detects those patterns, right? You know, for example, on Amazon, you have, like, when you go on a product page, you have like people who bought this product also bought these products, right? The same happens for suggested videos in particular on YouTube. People who watch this video that you currently see on the Watch tab page also watched the videos that you see in the suggested videos.
Yes.
The same principle. And for that, you need, like on Amazon, you need people to buy the products first before you can recommend what they also bought alongside with these products, right? So if you have a microphone, then usually you have a tripod where you can attach the microphone. But you need buyers for both products until Amazon can recommend it. And the same happens for YouTube on the suggested videos. You have usually your active viewer, your active subscribers who start watching your videos in the beginning, binge watch it thanks to your links, and that creates the information that the recommendation system needs in order to recommend more of your content to other people as well who might not even click the link, because then they go directly through suggested videos. This is kind of a convoluted thing to say here.
Yeah. It seems confusing. But
Okay.
and it's not. It's not. You know.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time with my consulting clients, and I have a members only group that some of them are in here today. I can see Tinkerman Mick is in there. I can see Pixel Pia is in there from my memberships group. And there's a thing that I always try to explain to people, because I never hide information from anybody, is understanding how to do the thing that YouTube wants us to do. Okay. So to simplify the things, exactly what Nico just said, is that, let's say someone's watching your video, right? Your video gets put out there. It gets put out in front of people who are most active. YouTube is watching what happens with that video. If you use these, you know that when that video ends, YouTube is going to put something up in the up next. When your screen ends and it starts recycling, you're going to see YouTube recommending stuff in the up next. It's also on the watch page going to put a list down the side of other content that it is suggesting, that's suggested content, to that viewer that it thinks might be a good fit. Now, understanding how YouTube comes up with all these, like, why is it choosing those videos? Why is it choosing, this is the video we're going to recommend next? This is the ones we're going to put down the side. One of the things you have to understand is that all of YouTube's effort and might is spent trying to understand viewer behavior. What are they watching now? What might they watch next? What can I recommend that this viewer might watch by looking at their behavior and also looking at the behavior of similar types of viewers? Because YouTube has a tendency to group viewers, right? They'll look at, well, other people who like this type of content also like this type of content. So maybe we'll recommend some of this other content to this viewer to see if they react the same, because they're really trying to understand the viewer. So let's walk through the taxonomy of watching a video. Someone's watching a video and enjoying your video. Say it's 5 minutes long. They get about 80% of the way through, and you do something like pop a card up that says, hey, if you like what you're watching here, you're watching the Morningfame channel, and you're learning about research, keyword research, we've got another video that dives deeper and shows you how to really leverage the optimization of your video to drive even more views, right? Post it up in that card. That card pops out. Now, the viewer's watching they're watching Nico's channel going, man, this is a great video. Oh, that card looks good. I might click that, but I want to finish watching the video. Then you get to the end screen, right? You get to the end of the video. They're watching to the end. And there's Nico again going, hey, if you like this video, we have this video about how you can optimize your videos better that you might also like. And they go, oh, yeah, I think I just saw that in the card. Yeah, that looks like a good video. But I'm going to go down below because I want to leave a comment. Nico, I love your channel. I got to go tell them how much I love this video. So they scroll down. And as they scroll down past the description, above the fold, there you've dropped a link saying, hey, if you like this video, I've got another video that talks about how you can optimize your videos to drive even more traffic. And they go, oh yeah, I think I just saw that up top. I gotta leave a comment. I gotta drop a comment here though. They go to drop a comment, and below their comment, because you've pinned your comment, which means it stays at the top regardless of how many other comments come in, there's your comment saying, hey, if you like this video, I got another video that talks about how you can optimize your videos to drive even more traffic. So you've now sandwiched that viewer in between a link above them in the description, above the fold, and a link below them in the pinned comment, so that you're recommending your next strongest piece of content to that viewer at all times. Now,
exactly, to make sure that they really watch it, and especially your active subscribers are willing to, because they are convinced about your channel already.
Now, but listen, but why is that important, Nico? Because a lot of times I think people go, so, okay, great. So I get a few extra views. I guess that's good, but is that really, how much extra views can I get? Here's where a lot of people don't quite put together the entire equation. Again, YouTube is trying to understand viewer behavior. So let's say someone clicked on that card, or clicked on that end screen, or clicked on that link in the description, or clicked on the link in the comment and watched another video. If that viewer is not currently subscribed to your channel, you've increased the chances of converting that viewer, turning them into a subscriber. You've also increased the volume of content in their recent watch history, meaning they watch 1, 2, maybe you got them into a third video, right? Maybe they watch 2.5. They finish for the day. They call it quits. They go, okay, I've had enough of you guys today. YouTube, I got to go deal with the coronavirus, right? They leave, but the next time they open up YouTube, and they just open up, they get the homepage of YouTube. YouTube recommends all sorts of content. We're not talking about search. We're talking about YouTube trying to understand what they can put in front of that viewer, because they don't know what they're going to do yet. They're not using search. They're just opening up YouTube, and YouTube's going, what can we put in front that we think might get this viewer to watch content here and stay on the platform? One of the first things that YouTube looks at is that viewer's watch history. So if you got them to click a card, if you got them to click an end screen, if you got them to click a link in your description or a link in the pinned content in the comments, that viewer is more likely to get served more of your content on the homepage of YouTube when they come back to the platform.
Exactly. And do you see how many layers this already has? Like, you have your active subscribers, they binge watch your content and they keep coming back naturally already. They are already convinced about your channel. But now you have new viewers coming to your channel and they start binge watching a few videos as well. The next day they come back, get on the home screen, like you say, another video. So this way you have more leeway, a longer time to convince them to finally subscribe, right? So it is not only to engage, get more out of your already engaged viewers, but also to have a higher chance to draw in new people who become part of your active subscriber base later on, right?
And stay there for a minute too, because think about that, right? Because the next tier of this is, let's say someone's watching, say you've done a really great job of putting up content, and in that content, you've linked more of your content and gotten many viewers to click on those links, right? And we've done all the things we've said. You've got a few more views out of it. You've increased the chances of your content showing up on those viewers' homepages and in recommended in general. Let's say a new viewer comes along, a similar viewer who's also interested in doing learning how to use Morningfame or grow their channel. They're new to the Morningfame channel. They're watching one of their videos that you've gotten other people to click links from. YouTube is doing the thing we talked about. It's watching that new viewer, seeing how they're staying, if they're staying engaged with this content, but they're doing the thing we talked about. That new viewer, they're trying to figure out what can we serve the viewer next to keep them watching. Well, one of the things that they do is they start looking at similar viewers' behavior. What did the last guy watch next? What have other people who have enjoyed this video watched afterwards and kept them on the platform? Well, if you've gotten them to click one of these links and watch more of your content, not only have you increased the chance of them subscribing, increased the chances of you getting more views on your channel, increased the chances of you showing up on the viewer's homepage, but you've now increased the chances of a new viewer coming along, getting recommended your content at that end screen up next in the suggested sidebar, because YouTube is trying to understand the audience that this video is a good fit for. And if you help YouTube do that by going, I'm going to try to engage these viewers and get them to watch more of my content, YouTube is more likely to recommend more of your content across the platform, not just search. It's a bigger piece of this puzzle, trying to really think about how can I get the average viewer to really get invested in watching my content.
Exactly. And this is kind of, it sounds like it's all about the humans, right? We recommend people to watch more of our content, but it's also a symbiosis, so to say, between the humans, how they behave and how the algorithms look at them. It's the combination of both, because the algorithm in its sense, the recommendations, suggested videos in the particular, have the characteristic, you can say, that if you recommended people to binge watch a series of yours, for example, that they see, okay, usually in your series, episode 1 to 3, for example, they watched it all through. And then suggested videos basically mirrors this viewer behavior. In the beginning, it was based on the end screen cards, the link in the pinned comment, and so on, that the way how people got from episode 1 to 2 to 3, so to say. But then suggested videos starts to mirror that behavior. And when new people watch episode 1, for example, you see episode 2 already showing up in up next. Even so that people start to watch episode 2 sometimes, even without clicking your links. They are then at that point not necessary anymore. You still have them in there, basically. But because suggested videos mirrors the way people watched your content on YouTube before, it is kind of this symbiosis between viewer behavior and then the algorithm basically boosting the same behavior with its capabilities.
100%. And listen, when Nico says, he's referring to, number 1, number 2, number 3 in videos, don't think that has to be, I'm making a series, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. That only has to be content that is semantically similar and makes sense for that viewer. In my case, I do Filmora tutorials a lot on my channel. I don't have to have, this is part 1, this is part 2, this is part 3. I have to create playlists that are built around, listen, I'm here teaching people how to do certain effects in Filmora. So then one video that talks about how to do a certain effect in Filmora would make sense to lead to another video that shows how to do a different effect in Filmora, because they're similar. They don't have to be part one, part two per se, like a series in that way, but a series meaning this content is similar. This content feeds the needs of that particular viewer who was enjoying the first video and would probably find value in the next video. Okay?
Exactly. And for example, I have a video, very well performing video on my channel about whether dislikes on your videos are bad for your channel in some way. And I explain why they are not bad for the channel. Anyway, this is a video that performs really well because many new YouTubers get their first dislikes, get maybe haters that bulk dislike their videos, and that obviously drives them down and they wonder, do they risk now anything or something, right? And by observing the comments, I never created a series for that. I just did once this dislike video explaining dislikes. And now observing the comments, I realized, yeah, they are not only worried about the dislikes, but also about spam comments, right? So this is a natural follow-up question that people have based on they got dislikes, they also got spam comments. So I'm planning to do a video about how to deal with spam comments on your videos, right? So this is a perfect situation then to recommend in the pinned comment, in the description, and so on, end screen, to all the viewers of this dislike video once I have published this. So this is kind of loosely related. It's not planned out as a series in the beginning. Although if you do this, planned out a series from the start, you can better convert people to watch the video next because you can pitch it. Yeah, you can explain why you should watch the next episode in the series next. But this is not necessary. You can have independent videos that naturally work well together, as it turns out afterwards, at least. And this way, you can, with series or independent videos, make the same effect.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, I'm a huge fan personally of making content that is standalone content. Because what you have to understand, I always use this reference all the time and people make fun of me for it. Whenever I reference a channel, like, it's like if you were a cooking channel and you made chicken videos, right? You could make 5, 10 different videos that talked about chicken recipes, but they don't have to all be in any specific order. One can be how to make great chicken piccata. One can be how to make a great chicken cordon bleu dinner. One can be how to make a great chicken parmesan dinner, right? So they're all similar and make sense to each other, that it would lead one viewer into the next, because like, oh, I love making chicken. Look at these different recipes I might want to try, but they stand alone. The reason I think sometimes that's very important for newer creators, younger channels, if you build content that says this is part 3 and you put it out there and people see it, a lot of times people will think, oh, I need to see part 1 and part 2 for this to make sense. I better not watch that one. So standalone content can be really important that works together organically. Because in that particular example where I said, 5 different types of chicken recipes, who knows which ones will connect the best? Maybe the chicken cordon bleu is the recipe. That video does 10,000 views in the first 2 weeks. And you go, wow, that one really took off. That's the one that's going to be recommended more. So when it comes out of order, you go, it makes perfect sense. You don't have to have seen something else to understand this one. But in that piece of content, you can recommend the next strongest. Maybe you find out that the chicken cordon bleu was the one that performed the best, but your chicken parmesan recipe video was not too far behind. It did really well too. So you could go into that first video and go, oh, I know what to do. I'm going to grab that other piece of content from that similar series that did really well, but not quite as much as this first one did. And I'm going to recommend it here so I know my strong content recommends my next strongest piece of content in the cards, in the end screens, in the description, in the pinned comment. And we start funneling viewers in a particular direction to potentially watch more of your content in that binge watch funnel that Nico was talking about.
Exactly. And it's actually a very good strategy because when you are learning YouTube and try to figure out what to do on your channel, which topics to cover and so on, it is challenging to create series like, on Netflix with 12 episodes, which tells one story from episode 1 to episode 12. To make this right, to already know that they will perform well in that order, it's pretty advanced to get that right, to know what the audience really wants to watch, to have these independent videos, and then later on, looking at the analytics, see which are watched the best, and then linking in them accordingly, like you just explained, right? This makes it so much easier, especially if you are not really in that advanced level to be able to create those series. I really have to say, I'm trying to do series since 1 year. I did a lot of series on my channel, but I didn't really get it down so that each episode in the series works well. But there's also is hybrid, in a sense, that you create a series planned beforehand, but you're still flexible in terms of in which order they get watched. You sometimes see on Netflix, for example, there are series out there where they have this label, can be watched in any order. For example, The Toys That Made Us is a really great docu series, which talks about different toys, G.I. Joe, the Ninja Turtles, and all that, right? And you can watch them basically in any order. And to give you an idea about that, I recently actually did a series in that style. Here on my channel, you see in the middle, the YouTube Algorithm Explained series. And what I did here, I talked about the 3 most important algorithms, explaining them, how they work and how to trigger them. And obviously, I do search, home, and suggested. And it turns out, obviously, of course, suggested did the best, search did the second best, and home did the worst, even though it also did good on my channel. These are really strong videos on my channel here. And what I did here is that for each video, for example, if you start with search, then I explain the search algorithm. And in the end, I say like, okay, and now we have to take a step back and see like there are 3 important algorithms on YouTube that make up 75% of all the traffic that channels get. So since you just learned search, here is home and here's suggested in the end screen. I'm talking about the end screen here, right? And the same I did for home. I say like, now you learned home, here is search, here's suggested. And suggested, here is home and here's search. So people can watch it in any order, but they then are able to watch all 3 of them, because obviously people want to know about the 3 major algorithms that make the bulk of all the views that channels get. Yeah. So if you get creative a little bit, you can play around how it works with your particular videos, your style, what kind of things you do on your channel, to create those series in a sense that they still remain independent in a way, but linked up so that people are able and motivated to binge with them all together, basically. And since they are independently watched in any order, I had the ability, or I'm opening up to the opportunity to get each video discovered separately. For example, 10 years ago, I did for my studies a series about my diploma, the talk I did to get my grade for the diploma. And I back then, you still had to split up the videos in 10 minutes chunks, because YouTube didn't no, my camera only allowed 10 minutes recordings 10 years ago. And but then it turned out, yeah, everyone was watching episode 2, and that was not the start of my talk. So this didn't really work well. The 3rd episode was watched a little bit, but it's kind of put out of context because people didn't watch episode 1, right? So it is a good idea to try to find related videos, related video topics that you create, and make them in a sense still a little bit independent, because in the beginning, if you don't hone in your skills and don't know exactly what your audience wants, you're not 100% sure which of those videos drives the most traffic in the end.
And, and that's, so I think sometimes that's one of the things that creators stumble with is like, well, how do I know what content I'm supposed to make? How do I know what content to create to do these very things, to build out these playlists worth of material, these ideas of what might connect, what might not connect? And that brings us right back to the keyword research tool to begin with, is doing the research on what topics seem to be in the conversations of your target audience. What are people talking about? What seems to be more relevant to the people you're trying to reach? Use the keyword research tool to understand where there might be opportunity for your channel in that discussion. All of this comes right back full circle to the beginning, where you start learning what content to make, where there might be opportunity, and then you present that out and start working it together and linking it together in a way that you're not making one video about one thing one week. I'm talking about travel this week, and the next week I'm making a video about, diet and fitness, and then tomorrow I'm doing one. My family went on a vacation. I want to show you Disneyland. It's so fragmented. To be able to start thinking about your channel as a catalog of content that serves a particular viewer, and you can funnel them using Morningfame now, using that new linking tool in your tab 4, where you can go, I know, pull that up, Nick, I'll show them again. When you start doing the homework on Morningfame for that new video, you can say, I know this video I make, I've got another piece of content that I can put in the description of this video I haven't even published yet, but I know I already have something on my channel that has done really well, and I'm going to drop that link right here into my pinned comment and have it ready for when I want to post this video. I can put that same link into my description above the fold and have it ready to drop the minute I publish. This is all of it coming right back around, where you're really thinking about, forget about YouTube. We're talking about the viewer. We're thinking about the viewer, because that's all. One of the biggest things I try to talk to creators about is a lot of times people get focused on looking at YouTube. What does YouTube want? What does the algorithm want? What does YouTube want? It's really simple. YouTube wants the same thing we want. They want to make sure that they're serving the audience with content that the viewer enjoys. So take YouTube out of the equation and start thinking about the audience, because that's what YouTube is looking at. So align yourself and go, okay, I'm going to put all of my focus on the viewer and trying to give them what they might want to watch. And when they do enjoy a piece of content, I'm going to make sure I link to other strong content on my channel to get them to watch more, because that's the other thing that YouTube wants, is what can we do to keep them watching once they're already watching another video, right?
Exactly. And earlier in the chat, someone said, it's all about a web of videos. That is a good name for that, I think. This is kind of ties back into what you say. When you do it right, this preparation part that we just explained with the pin comment, description link, end screen, and cards, then you have like this viral video, and people watch this viral video. When you are well prepared, they start to watch other videos after the viral video. Yeah. This is the preparation step that allows you to benefit more from some videos that really take off on your channel. And this is what you say, the effect that happens there. You have this great saying, the tide lifts all boats, right? Can you elaborate on that?
I can. I've shown this in my data. Nico, pull back up onto, you had up my videos tab from my channel where you had them listed in the strongest performing videos. Pull that up.
Yeah.
Because on my channel, what you'll find is that a lot of the stuff that does really well, right here, you can see that the top performing videos were a year ago, right across the whole top line. These are videos that YouTube has gotten a lot of time to understand what that video is about and what viewer it feeds. Todd Beaupre from Search and Discovery, I talk to him a lot, and he gives some great advice right on Facebook and on Twitter. He's just a really bright guy.
Indeed.
And he's come out and said, listen, when you publish a video, we're not trying to find viewers for your video. We spend all of our time trying to understand the viewer, and we're trying to find videos that fit that viewer's need. So if your video happens to be a video that would suit that viewer, they bring the video to the viewer, not viewers to your video. All right. So you really have to swap that around and think about viewer. It's the viewer. It's the viewer. That's where I'm putting on my focus. Now, if you look on my channel right here, the top line is all stuff from a year ago. But if you look at the sixth video, is that Zach King effect that is only a month old, and it's driven over 250,000 views. That was a video that was super targeted. I used Morningfame to really start finding an area that would work. I listened to my community. I listened to the trends, and I went, I think this video will do really well. A lot of people asking how to do these kinds of effects in Filmora. When that video hit, it exploded. 250,000 views in a month on my channel is a lot. But when that took off, immediately I could look at all of my top performing videos, and in the real-time 48-hour views, every one of them spiked. Every one of them all of a sudden started getting more traffic because I had built my channel in a way where I had let YouTube know by just traffic data that if someone enjoys one piece of content from my channel, there is a really good chance that other content from my channel will serve that viewer's needs. And the reason they knew that is because I had pushed those viewers in one direction and gotten them to watch more than one. Perfect example right here. Can you scroll up just a tiny bit, Nico? So here's the Zach King video. This is Nico being logged in, and look what's being recommended and suggested to the right. The very top video, mine. Fourth video, mine. Scroll down a little more and you'll find more of my videos in that up next suggested, because I have trained. The one that says walk through text, mine. Mask transition, mine. Glitch effect, mine. I have trained YouTube to understand that my content is a good fit for people who are enjoying other pieces of my content just by getting more viewers to click and watch. That's the real long tail. Forget me recommending my content. I've now trained YouTube to understand they should recommend more of my content as well.
Exactly. And with the links, for example, you train that, right? And this is, again, like Amazon. People who buy this product also bought this product. People who watched this video also watch these videos next. And the more people you get to watch videos from your own channel next after this video, obviously, the more your own recommendations will fill up here. Like you just said, many of those videos that you see here are all from your channel. And that, again, increases the likelihood that more people watch more from your own channel. So it's kind of something that increases step by step even further, because it's kind of a loop which elevates step by step even further the ability for people, or more and more people start to binge watch your content, because more and more is recommended to them, right? In the beginning, it's just the links that you have in the description and so on. And later, it's more and more your own videos in the recommendations. So the chance just gets higher and higher, because they get more and more recommended from your own channel.
And scroll down just a tiny bit here, Nico, and people can see the Morningfame new options, new features in action. If you look in the description, this video is entitled Edit Like Zach King with Filmora 9, right? But in the description, above the fold, above the show more, if Nico was right here about to leave a comment, right here it says Zach King in the description, Zach King quick change effect, right? So if you see right in the description, it has my link to another piece of Zach King editing tutorial that I think that viewer might like. And just below that, in my pinned comment, the exact same recommendation. I'm not trying to flood the viewer with 90 different choices. I'm not trying to point them in 40 different directions. I'm saying, listen, I have one thing that I'm going to offer you here. If you like this one, check out this next video. And much like when you walk into a supermarket and you have like a new company who's got a new product they're trying to feature, they set up a stand right up front and they try to show you one new thing. Here's the sample. You want to try it? Try this. You might like it. The reason they set up one thing and try to get you to try one thing instead of putting everything that they ever made in the product line is because too many choices can create paralysis. This is actually a proven thing. If you give people too many choices, it looks interesting, but they are far less likely to commit to a decision. So if you just say a very simple thing, hey, you like this Zach King editing trick? I've got another Zach King quick change close effect that I think you might like too. And that's the only thing I recommended here, above, below, and I've sandwiched them when they go to leave a comment with, hey, if you like this one, check this one. And that's that.
Exactly.
This is the thing that Morningfame now allows you to prepare and get all set up before you ever publish your video. Is that
Exactly.
true or what?
Yeah. It's super great. I mean, so simple, but so important, right? And what you just said, like just one recommendations. I mean, on the sidebar with the suggested videos, people have already so much choice, right? But if you as a creator give like a very clear vision, what is the best fit for to watch next? This is just perfect. Everyone who do you know the book Paradox of Choice? Mm-hmm. By any chance? This is really great. If anyone is interested in that, the author of the book also did a TED talk. Just YouTube search for Paradox of Choice. It really is. The simpler you can make it for the viewer, the less choice he has to do. The better, the higher the click-through rate, basically, for the links that you provide.
And there's two ways to approach that, in my opinion. I think if you're a smaller channel, because you don't have that established audience yet, if they're watching one video, push them towards one more video. Just choose one more strong video and push them that way. As your channel starts to grow, if you're a bigger channel, if you're someone like a Morningfame channel with over 10,000 subscribers, Nico can start saying, listen, instead of one video, if you like this one, I have a whole playlist that really focuses on this topic, and I will link one playlist in the card, same playlist in the end screen, same playlist in the description, and the same playlist in the pinned comment. Not 19 different things confusing every time and showing up everywhere else. Because one other thing you have to consider is all of these options in YouTube are depreciated differently across different devices. Not everyone will be served a card if they're watching on a mobile device or a television. Not everyone will be served an end screen if they're watching on a mobile device or television. On desktop, you tend to be served almost all of these options, but still not every time. So understanding that if you really want to push them in one direction, use those options to only keep pushing that one thing. So whatever they do see, if they do see an end screen, if they do see a pinned comment, you're always pushing them one direction, okay? That's going to be the best way to start gaining momentum on your channel. There's another metric that a lot of people don't look at in their analytics, and that's two metrics, actually: the amount of unique viewers on your channel, how many, because forget views, how many unique viewers have you had that come to your channel? And then how many average views per unique viewer? Big metric right there that people don't talk about. If you can get a decent amount of unique viewers, and those unique viewers are averaging close to 3 views, I think my average is 2.9 right now per viewer on my channel, watches 2.9 videos. That's why my channel grows. These are metrics that are not easily defined by YouTube analytics. YouTube analytics do not tell you this end screen caused us to put this video in browse. It's something, that's why you have to sort of think outside of the box, step back, gain perspective, and go, listen, I even though there's not a built-in metric that says, yes, we know if this people have clicked one of these recommendations from the end screen or the pinned comment, that we're now going to take that in, and there's a metric that we show we're going to put this in browse. They just look at viewer behavior. YouTube goes, the audience has been liking these videos, let's recommend more on the home page. But it's been you doing that, even though it's not a clearly written line of code in the YouTube structure. That doesn't mean that you aren't having that effect. And clearly, just from Nico pulling up my channel, you can see how much of my stuff is being recommended next to my stuff, because I've spent the better part of 2 years doing just that, just leveraging that audience behavior. I want to put my thumb on that viewer behavior experience.
Exactly. And to really boil it down in the end, it's all about getting as many videos in the watch history of as many viewers. Because the more, if you know it from the YouTube app, you can look at your history, everything you watched in the last month or two. And the more videos there are for viewers on your channel, right, the better. Yep. Because this is the data point, this watch history, which home and suggested use primarily. Yeah. And the more you can make it happen, the more clearer you can also make it happen, the better. With clear, I mean, we just talked about the paradox of choice, right? And of course, if you give people just one perfect fit of a video to watch next, this makes more people to click, which is good. But this is the human side. The technical side from that is also that you funnel all your viewers from your big video, from one of your videos, to one of your other videos, so that you get a few hundred views, for example, all watching your new video, your successful video first, and then the other one next that you recommend. And the more viewers you have doing the same step, watching both videos together, the clearer it will be for the algorithm, the stronger the data is for the algorithm, so that it can, as I said in the beginning, mirror this behavior by not waiting for people to click the link that you still have in your pinned comment, for example, but to right away show up the next video in up next, for example, in the suggested videos in general.
That's a huge tip there. I hope everyone understood exactly what Nico said there, right? Instead of recommending 4 different things in the cards, the end screen, the pinned comment, the description, and getting 25 views on 4 different things, you better to get 100 views on one thing, because you've strengthened that thing that's been recommended in the eyes of YouTube in terms of viewer behavior for that video, right? Really, viewer behavior. We're always trying to go. All that YouTube cares about is your behavior. Let's, as creators, let's get on board with that. And let's really start thinking about what can we do to influence viewer behavior ourselves from our own content. How can we be our own best salesperson and recommend, hey, you like this one? I've got this other one for you. And Morningfame now with these 2 new added options in there where you can do it in the description. You can pull up, easily find any video on your channel and have it prepared to drop in the description of a video you haven't even published yet. Be prepared to have it fall in the pinned comment of a video you haven't even published yet is a game changer. This is a game changer. It will get you to go perfect. I now know that I've got my video prepped ahead of time so that all of that optimization is ready. It's right there. Copy, paste, boom. I've got it done. Right. So
not forgotten. Exactly. And there was just a question about the pinned comment. It is unfortunately not possible to post the pinned comment before you publish your video. Private videos or scheduled videos don't allow that. So you have to do that after the video got published, right? So we still have to remember to do that. But this is the way to proceed, right?
Trick in there, Nico. One trick that I do if I really want to, because it depends how much view velocity you get. My videos tend to drive about, if they're doing okay, they drive about 1,000 views an hour in the first day. So I know that initial surge of publishing is important. You could take a video that's on private, go in right before it publishes, switch it to unlisted. Unlisted will now allow you to drop your comment in before anyone else can see the video yet because they don't have the link. Drop it in there as a comment and then switch it to public is a quick way around that. So the very first viewer who goes to leave a comment immediately sees your pinned comment.
Good point. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Yeah, good idea. Mick confirmed that as well. Perfect. Yeah. So this way you can link it all up, teach the algorithm, teach the viewers to have this whole binge watching going on. And actually, Daniel, your channel is proof that it really works. It's impressive. Yeah. And but let's dive a little bit deeper. It's not that we just claim that in some sense. Yeah. We have, and by the way, there is a link in the description of this video where I show you the same that I show you on the screen now. Here in the Creator Academy article, this is the course on getting discovered. And this whole article talks also about the different algorithms and what you should do in order to get into these algorithms, get promoted by these algorithms. And what I show you here just now is the tips for the suggested videos algorithm. And you can see it clearly here. Make strong call to action for viewers to watch another one of your videos. That is what we always said, right? We have in the end screen a video of ours, and we explain there why someone should click the next video, right? As I said in the beginning, I have this video about search, and then I explain, okay, there are two other more equally important algorithms, the home and suggested. So I did the same video, here's home, here's suggested, right? You want to learn the same thing about the other algorithms that you just learned in my current video about search,
and that second tip right there is a huge one. You know, you're absolutely right that, look, at YouTube spells this out. That second tip, long endings may delay viewers from watching more, so try to be mindful of how your videos end. I say this all the time to the students in my members group. When you get near the end of the video, if you say things like, hey, thank you so much for hanging out, I hope you enjoyed the video, all those cues that make it the viewer understand that the video is ending, guess what will happen? They'll leave. When you invite someone to leave, they will do what you told them because you've made it clear the video is ending. When you create your content, these things we're talking about, strong end screens, do not send people away. And then at the very end, after you've said your goodbyes, post an end screen link, because most of the viewers, you've already given them permission to leave. So when you're making a strong piece of content and you get near the end of it, instead of saying thanks for watching and things like that, you're wrapping up, you should say like, hey, if you've enjoyed what you've seen in the content today, make sure you click on the video on screen now or the ones I'll pin down below. The reason it's important to call those out is, as I've said before, not all features will display equally. So if you're telling people click on the link on screen and they don't have an end screen element, it makes no sense to that viewer. So if you tell them the ones on screen or the ones I'll pin down below, that way they know that even if they don't see an end screen, it's not served, it will be in the comments or it will be in the description where they can find it. You funneled them and you didn't waste time. You wrapped up your content and went right to suggesting another piece of content.
Exactly. Yeah, good point. So people can't miss it, basically. Really make the best of it, like we do with thumbnails, click-through rate. The click-through rate to actually watch the next video is the same thinking behind it, right? And you may want to make the best of it. And here it already says, Joe, by the way, a good point, yeah? So you want to really recommend something that is fitting, that you can pitch, that you can motivate people to watch next. Not just anything, right? So you can make the best out of it. And here, third point, you already talked about playlists, links, cards, end screens, suggested videos to get your videos into suggested videos, right? Playlists, by the way, you know, we have all these technical things like playlists, cards, and all that. You can use them, and it's important to use them. But how you use them is super important. As I showed you earlier in the beginning, yeah, you always should motivate people what to watch next. Now, with the live stream here, we don't have comments yet. But once the replay gets available, I just drafted it out. This is the pinned comment that I will be using later for the stream, for the replay. And here, yeah, we are talking about how to get into suggested videos, home as well, of course. But suggested videos is something that most people are interested to learn more about. And yeah, even small channels can trigger it. It's not just something for large channels. And here I pitch, explain why you should watch this video next, where I show a case study about how a small channel with 1,000 subscribers has successfully triggered it. And this is so important.
Doing, Nico, for live stream, while you're here in the description, like one thing I'll push Nico towards it. I just recently started doing more often because live streams are longer, and some people like, I really like to know the information on the replay, but I mean, do I have to watch an hour to get to my question that I want answered? Nowadays, you can even go into your description and pinned comment and use time codes. Meaning, if you write into the description 1:10, that would be 1 minute, 10 second mark, and you put that in your description or pinned comment and someone clicks it, it will automatically take them to the 1 minute, 10 mark of that live stream. And you can do time codes with a whole chapter section to go, hey, at 1 minute, 10 seconds, we talked about the new feature. At 2 minutes and 30 seconds, we talked about why this new feature is important. At the 9-minute mark, we talked about how you can start using this feature today and the best practices. And you can time code. See what Nico's doing right now? So that in the replay, people can come back, because we're focusing on viewer behavior, right? Viewer behavior, they might go, that's a long live stream, but I want to make sure that I want to be able to find the thing. Does he have a chapter section with time code? If Nico has that in his description and he can put it in a pinned comment, it will still activate the same way. You've now made it easier for the viewer to engage and consume your replay of the live stream, right?
Exactly.
Thinking about that viewer behavior.
And when you do here 0, 0, 0 in the beginning, then it also the play bar in the video will be split up by chapters so that people can easily skip to the important point. I will add that later, because for live stream, certainly you want to get to the good parts, right? Very good.
All of it was the good parts. Don't you start to dismiss the earlier part.
That is true. That is true. We really go deep in here. I think
what's next on this list. Oh, here's a great one. Read that second to last one.
Develop a series of videos that are organically connected.
Isn't that what we talked about earlier when Nico and I talked about, we were talking about series of videos? That doesn't necessarily mean part 1, part 2, part 3. YouTube is telling us videos that are organically connected, meaning they touch on similar topics. One video that would be important and valuable to this viewer, the next one doesn't have to be a part 2. It's just same topic, same subject matter, same idea, same niche, same area of discussion, where it is organically connected. The chicken cordon bleu recipe and the chicken parmesan recipe are organically connected.
Like Luigi just said in the stream, right? In the comments, it does math lessons. And if you do some algebra and explain something in math, you naturally have questions about maybe basics or how to apply it to certain situations, the new formula that you learned, for example, right? This is a natural follow-up on the video that you just covered. So when people watch a video of yours, they naturally, especially in the how-to niche, when you explain stuff, they naturally have follow-up questions. And if you can already suspect what follow-up questions they have, you can even plan that beforehand, which video to link next, because there are some basics. For example, if I talk about advanced YouTube SEO, for example, then I say and everyone who does now want to look at the whole SEO process and not just the part that I dive deep into right now. For example, recently I had a video on tags. Then watch this video next. And in this case, I linked to a video that explains the whole search algorithm and how to rank in search. Right.
And especially if, we call, there's different names for that. Matt Geelan would call these utility channels that are, I refer to them as resource channels, channels that are designed to bring information or give answers or give instruction. I call those resource channels. Like you can call them utility channels. There's a bunch of different names, but some of these are going to lend themselves to work together. A channel like Nico's, where if you came to one video, you're not going to understand in one video how to use every function on Morningfame, or how to understand how Morningfame integrates with YouTube to help you expedite your growth. So his content organically works together, that if someone watched one and went, well, I love this tool, I'd like to learn more about the other functionality, boom, he's got other content, and he can say to himself, I can tell you that if people are on tab 1 of the keyword research tool, I want to show them also probably what tabs 2, 3, and 4 do. So those pieces naturally, organically fit together.
Exactly. And we really can't stress it enough, as you see here in the list from the Creator Academy article. Again, link in the description if you want to read the full article. This is how you get into suggested. We usually are accustomed to, we get into search, we rank in search with keyword research, which is a very technical thing where we look for search terms, optimize our metadata, and so on. And everyone wonders how to get into home and suggested videos, the YouTube recommendations. And it works completely different there. It's not that we apply something like keyword research that we do for search. Instead, we apply these tips here. This is kind of feels like more fuzzy, not very concrete, like we do our keyword research for YouTube search to rank in search. But it is actually the growth strategy to get there.
And if you make content that's well optimized for search and drives traffic from search, because the word we really are tap dancing around here is not just recommendation, which is browse and suggested, but it's also discovery. How is your content being surfaced on the platform? So if you can leverage things like having great videos that are discovered in search, maybe you publish a video and maybe it doesn't get 10,000 views in the first day. Maybe it gets 20, 25, but the people who watched it really liked it. They clicked it. They watched a good percentage of it. YouTube will serve that out. If it sits in search, it can hold those search rankings. And over time, YouTube begins to know more about that piece of content because you optimized it well for the viewer who you think it's a good fit for. And as it drives more views over time, YouTube understands that video better. It understands the viewers who have enjoyed it. And it's easier for YouTube to recommend your content to other similar viewers who might enjoy that particular piece of content that you made. So all of these things are not separate. They are all related. It's all about serving the needs of the viewer.
Exactly. You have some sources where your viewers come onto your channel. Yeah. This is search in particular. This is a good way to get very new viewers to your channel that you never touched base with. And then it's all about you. Your channel is a really good example. All titles are optimized, right? Filmora transition effects. This is certainly a search term. Yeah. So your videos are optimized for that. And then people find, for example, this dissolve effect through search, and then people get linked via your own links, end screen, and so on, via the suggested videos. So with the help of the algorithms, different ways to go from this video that they found through search and then watch everything else on your archive, hopefully as much as they can, so that the watch history of that viewer gets filled up with more videos from your channel. And that in turn will drive the promotion of the algorithms even more. So
let's add one more layer in here that we didn't cover, because you're on that right now, right? So we talked about all of these ways that you can recommend more of your content. You put them in all 4 spots. You get that person to click another video. You get them to watch maybe a third video because they go, oh, I watched this first 2 and this next one was recommended not only by the creator, but also started to get recommended by YouTube. I watched 2.5 videos. I loved it. When you publish a new video, we're not talking about search. You've made your video, you've optimized, you've done all the right things, but the minute it gets published, your video is going to be served to your most active subscriber and viewer base. Yes, people who have clicked the bell, but notifications tend to make up a very small percentage of people who are watching my videos in particular and the clients I work with. What usually drives the most amount of initial views is browse, the homepage, ending up in the subscription feed or on the homepage the minute they open up YouTube. The reason the way that YouTube figures out who to put that video in front of on their homepage is they choose it by which viewers are most active on your channel. So if you follow this whole strategy we're going through here, not only can you get more browse traffic, not only can you get more suggested traffic, but the minute you publish tomorrow's video, the one you haven't even published yet, if you want to get that video in front of more people before you've even published it, you hit publish and it goes live. The way to do that is by creating more active subscribers and viewers on your channel, by getting them to click more than one video today, by getting them to binge watch today. They are more likely to be served your new video that you haven't published yet tomorrow. Another layer of being able to grow that channel and grow homes. That's the homepage, which is browse recommended by YouTube.
Exactly. Yeah. It's simple as that. Of course, easier said than done, right? I mean, you have to understand your audience, what they really want to watch about. Yeah, for me, it took quite a while to understand that the YouTube algorithms are interesting for you. SEO is interesting for you. These topics I focus on the most. I have also that is clearly visible in the views, right? That those topics work particularly well for my audience. So I do more of those. And in your case, you understood really early on in the beginning. And it's also the reason why we see here your most popular videos mostly being from 1 year ago, because your channel is 1.5 years old, but you already quite early in the beginning started to understand that people want to have great effects with this Filmora editor that they didn't even think of before, that it is possible to edit in some way with this editor. Because it's more a consumer editor and obviously not as established as Premiere Pro or Final Cut Pro, which both have the level of professional production, right? But it's surprising that Filmora has all that possible as well, right?
And this screenshot. Oh, by the way, D Nimmin in the chat. Good to see you, pal.
ID.
If you look at these 15 videos that are on screen, Nico is absolutely right. This is the roadmap to how I got to 100,000 subscribers. So many of these videos are a year old because I started building in this direction, and I knew I had to plant gardens of content that over time would develop, that would take time to reach the right audience, time for YouTube to understand as I built more and more content. But if you start looking, the second row, the first video is only a month old. If you go down to the third row, you've got the second video and is 4 months old. The last video and there's 5 months old. I've learned how to now make content that's getting recommended in browse, in suggested. Newer content is starting to rise up and compete at the level of my strongest videos that have had a lot of time to gain traction, because I've funneled those viewers. I've taught the platform in YouTube how to understand who these new videos should be served to by having other ones that have had time to really gain a lot of traffic and really focus on one lane, one type of viewer, one target viewer I'm trying to reach, so that my newer content can now start to rise up in that top 10 and top 15 and start really performing at a level that my videos a year ago couldn't right out of the gate.
Exactly. And maybe there is a comparison with an airport, right? If you design an airport with the entrance and where you get your baggage drop off and all that, people don't think about individual viewers so much, although it's important to know them. But what you do is you funnel the masses, like big groups of people go to somewhere. Big groups of people watch this video next. It's kind of the thinking how you can influence or motivate. Yeah, it's not a bad influence. It's a positive motivation that you do. How can you motivate them as a group to watch certain things next? And this kind of thinking about the audience as a big group and how they have similarities in interests and questions and what they might enjoy watching next, understanding this better and better allows you to funnel those people to the right videos. You can, of course, use the analytics for that to understand how videos perform, and then link up, as you said in the beginning, link up the most successful videos with one another. And with that, create more momentum that, the crowds go through and through your video archive and watch many videos in a row. It's a little bit like, there's another analogy. If you are in a supermarket, right? People who design those supermarkets from the entrance to the cashier, they want you to go through all the aisles and to grab as many products as possible. And it is designed in a way that in Germany, at least, no, it's in the US as well, they start with the fruits and the vegetables, right? Because people know they want to need to buy healthy food. So they start with that. And then the longer they go to the store, the more it goes towards the sweets and the candy, right?
Yeah, why do you
And
think they have the candy right up by the register while you're standing in line, right?
exactly.
The most appealing, sweetest stuff that's going to reach out to your taste buds, they put right up front there because they know while you're waiting, if they put a bunch of spinach up there, there's probably not a big chance of people grabbing that on the way out.
All.
But if you've got all that good-looking candy, people are like, oh, maybe I'll just grab a Snickers bar on the way out.
Exactly. And that is a similar thinking that you do on your channel, right? You have brought them in, caught their attention with a really great video, and then you give them candy what to watch next, basically, because they are so deep into your channel, so excited about your content that they are really willing to watch something else on your channel. And the more you can do that, the better. And essentially triggering the recommendations home and suggested.
Yeah. And this is a strategy we should mention. This is a strategy, we're talking about building channels here. Okay. We're not talking about making one video and then waiting, expecting the world to change because you put links in your cards and end screens and pin comment and description on one video. We're talking about building channels. This is what will push you over the edge. This is what's going to get your channel to the size of Nico's. That's over 10,000 subscribers on his channel. This is what's going to get you to a channel my size that's over 100,000 subscribers in under 2 years. It's consistent building of content in a catalog that works together and serves the needs of a specific target audience and always recommends more of your content. Using Morningfame, using the keyword research tool, using the new features in the description and pin comment when you use Morningfame to be able to recommend more content. Curated is the word I like to say. Curated content. When you think about, you've got a channel that's got, pick how many pieces of content. Nico, how many pieces of content do you have on your channel?
150 videos, roughly.
150. I've got just under that. I got maybe 130 or 40. No one's going to see all those videos at once. I always say this, your channel is like, pick your big store, Macy's, Saks Fifth Avenue. Those stores have, tens or hundreds of thousands of square feet in the store, but they only have so much glass storefront, right? They have displays up front. They don't stuff everything they own up front. What they do is they take the strongest stuff that they think people walking by will stop and notice and go, oh, and it will bring them in. So when you start building this content that works together, you can build playlists that work together. You can put those playlists on your homepage up top, right? Right when someone comes to your homepage, put all that strong content that links to each other right up top and draw them into your channel. Because playlists can show up in search and playlists can show up as recommended on someone's homepage, entire optimized playlists, not just individual videos. I've seen it happen many times. I get recommended full playlists. So when you build this content that works together, you might be able to get a playlist up against, someone else's video that has nothing to do with your niche, because homepage could be all sorts of channels. So when you get a whole playlist recommended, that's something that can really help leverage bringing that viewer to you, because you're getting featured with several pieces of content instead of just one other from some other channel.
Adventures in Dirt just says, I feel like grabbing a sword and yelling, "Let's go," and running towards the invading horde.
I do. I get so excited about it. Listen, the reason I get excited about this stuff is I came to this platform. I've known Nico since the minute I came to this platform. He's always been very gracious to me. We talk a lot. I love his channel. I love Morningfame. I think it's something that everybody should have in their arsenal. If you're watching this video and you don't have Morningfame, there will be an invite code down in the description. Please click it. Please come check out the software and see what it does. I get excited because I see so many people in the creator community working really hard, and I never want to see someone work really hard but in the wrong direction. I don't want to see someone make 80 videos that are unfocused and scattered. I think everyone has a growth curve. You have to make content to learn to be better, but I always want to give everybody every bit of information I can so that all of their work is focused in the right direction, so that you can grow your channel the same way or better than I did. In my memberships group, we've got 2 creators in the last couple of months that have been featured on the homepage of YouTube in the trending tab as creators on the rise, just doing the same things that we talked about in this live stream here. focused, intentional content that recommends more of your own content. It
Oh,
works.
by the way, since you just mentioned it, I put a link in the description below to Daniel's channel. If you want to join his membership program, it's a great way in a group setting to get more knowledge from him, because obviously we can only cover so much in this stream today. The practical little things that that you can tweak in order to make it happen. For example, my non-traditional life. A good point, by the way. If you are not very sure yet which video to recommend next, this takes time to understand what your audience will most likely to want watch next, right? You can do the easy way, as you say, using an end screen element, which the best for viewer end screen element. So you let the YouTube recommendation system choose what to watch next. It is not as streamlined. We talked about that before. We want to recommend one video and one video only to watch next in our cards, in the end screen, in the description and the pinned comment, so that as many people as possible go from the video that you just published, for example, to another one that you recommend, to better teach the algorithm. But in the beginning, the best for videos, best for viewer end screen element is an easy way to not get it wrong, because the YouTube recommendation system that drives home, that drives suggested videos, and as well this particular type of end screen element has no job other than understanding what viewers want to watch next, what they will enjoy watching next, and they will use their knowledge of the audience, the particular viewer that currently watches the video, to show the right end screen element in this best for viewer end screen card.
But as we were saying earlier, that's a great way if you're just trying to find your path. But if you start thinking about the viewer first and making content that is built to serve a specific audience, that answer will be easy, right? Because you won't have to say, well, I don't know what to serve them next, because I got one video on travel, I've got one on fitness, I've got one on how to make brownies, I've got one on my trip to Disneyland. Don't have that on your don't fragment your audience. Make sure when you build a channel that you're building content where if someone enjoys one piece of content on your channel, in theory, if you're building your channel correctly, that they should enjoy other pieces of content from that same channel. Niche focused, target audience focused. Make content that makes sense for one group of audience members who share that similar passion to you that you have on your channel, and try to always stay within that circle of overlap, right? Makes sense. Always try to connect with those same viewers and super serve them the same content over and over again. I don't mean the same video. I mean, if you're a cooking channel, show them cooking videos, all right? Don't talk about your vacation you just took with your family, because people will see that video and go, I that's nice, but I'm here for the recipes. Just show me recipes, right? So stay focused.
Exactly. This is really important and not so difficult in the end. Of course, in the beginning, if you don't have a clear focus yet, let's say the first dozens of video uploads, it's okay. It takes time to understand. But the best way to really gain this understanding is to make sure that you read all the comments that you get. Try to, by the way, if you don't get comments yet, there is actually a video on my channel where I featured, Daniel, your previous food review channel, yes, where I explained how you drove up from 0 comments to really having a lively conversation in the comments of your videos. I don't have the video link right yet, but I certainly will make sure to link it later in the description.
And let me say, I still use that strategy today. In my comments section, I read and reply to almost every single comment. I've missed a few because sometimes they don't get served to me. They get hidden in certain places. But one of the biggest things that have been important to growing my community, and my community says it all the time, like, how do you respond to this many comments? Daniel, you've got thousands of comments. I make an effort. I work really hard because I read the comments. I want to know what's going on. I want people engaged. I use that to leverage the ability to get those people to go, oh, I like this channel. The guy actually responds to me when I leave a comment and answers my questions. It helps me build that ability, one more connection point where that viewer goes, oh man, that was awesome. I came back to the channel because I wanted to read his answer. While I'm here, I'm going to watch another video. I like this guy. I'm invested. I'm going to hit subscribe. I'm going to watch another video. All of that, thinking about the viewer, thinking about their behavior, becoming engaged with that target audience, and putting their needs first. When they ask a question, try to answer it. Simple as that.
Exactly. Simple as that. And Joe, Sharon, and Anthony agree. It's really important. You learn so much about it. I mean, I mentioned my example with the dislikes video, right? Explaining what the impacts of dislikes is on your channel. And 90% of the comments that I get are all about, complaining that haters dislike their videos and all that. Of course, this is also my first dislikes were very disappointing for me as well. It's natural. But then you have like a 10% of the comments that you get, and you only get comments if you reply to them and establish slowly a culture that people know when they comment, they actually get a response, and it's not just shouting into a void, right? Once you get them, so 10% of them are really insightful. This is the way how I figured out, they don't only worry about the dislikes, they also worry about the spam comments. And this is right there a video idea that I'm planning to do a video about, and linking both up, of course, because I now know that the audience is interested in this video topic, right? And I know this will, to a certain level, be a successful video because people want to have it. It's all about what are people interested in.
Conversations, right? Having conversations with those people you're trying to reach. Those conversations begin in your content. They continue into more similar content, and they go right down into the comments section itself. Having conversations.
And Mick, thank you very much for that. You just grabbed the video link for the video I mentioned about how to drive up your comment from 0 to a really lively conversation with the example what Daniel did on his last channel. They can learn a little bit more about what crazy things he ate there with his wife.
Don't make me relive that. Don't bring me back there.
I only say one thing: cat food and tarantula.
Oh no!
Awesome. It's crazy. You did this video saying like you showed the comments where people were suggesting you eat a tarantula. You didn't yet, but you did then afterwards, even after I published the video. And I was so delighted to be able to click it, add it to the end screen.
The great Christopher Mast from Legion of Weirdos saw that and said, he sent me a tarantula. I was like, God, oh my gosh.
It's sometimes you have too much viewer
right. Sometimes it's best just to ignore the comment section.
D says their legs don't taste too bad. If you get beyond the hairy part, I guess, right?
See, nobody out there can say I didn't pay my dues on my way to 100,000 subscribers.
You worked super hard for that. Awesome. I would say, do you have some questions about all that? I think we are basically through the whole idea. I will make sure that, of course, the replay is available in some sense. Maybe I cut down a shorter version as an uploaded video, whatever. I will make it available so that you can recap everything.
Yeah, basically, and if any of you, if there's any questions that along the way in the replay, during the replay, come back into the comments section and ask. Feel free to ask questions. Anybody watching this, ask questions in the comment section below. Not only is Nickel really great at answering questions in the comment section, but I tend to come back and hang around too, in case anyone had some questions for me on something I said. So comment section, the very comment section of this live stream will be back there too. So if anything that it would seem confusing, and if there's something that you didn't have a chance to ask, definitely do it in the comment section on the replay.
Yeah, perfect. I respond to all comments as well all the time. It's so important. It is all about, YouTube as a platform is social media in the end. It's not just a broadcasting service that you have on television. And the engagement with your viewers is, as we just said, right? You have so many advantages. You have the people keep coming back to respond again to your response, for example. They feel more loyal to your channel, keep watching more videos from you. This is kind of the selfish perspective of the creator, then of course you learn more about what they really want to watch next, what questions they still have, ideas. I mean, even if you are not a utility channel like we are, right? If you do vlogs, I mean, there are many ideas that people bring to you through the comments, what you can do as your next vlog episodes. This is kind of insights that all condenses down to really producing what your viewers really want. You're in the end, you are a service worker. You produce videos that people want to watch, and you need a source of inspiration. And your own audience is really the best thing, because understand this, people who comment on your videos are those who are the best fans of yours, right? A regular viewer who doesn't really engage with you that much, maybe just discovered your channel, that person doesn't really engage very much yet. But those who keep coming back and feel connected to you as a person, as a creator, they know what the qualities are on your channel. They come back for a reason, because they see something good in your videos. Especially if you are a small channel yet, we have to be frank, your videos are probably not the best yet for a broad audience, but you have your core fan base, and they are there because of your particular strength. And they will recommend stuff based on knowing what your strengths are, because that's the way they connect to you. So this is a very valuable source of inspiration.
The word you just said, engagement, you know, another word for that is those people come back because they're active on your channel. They're active. And guess who gets served your content the most when you publish? Your most active subscribers, your most active and engaged viewers. So people that you get to come back more often, leave more comments, watch an extra piece of content. All this ties together to help teach YouTube what kind of viewer is the audience that your videos are a good fit for. So all of these things matter. All of these things, making sure that you are treating your channel like it's as important as it should be, and really engaging with that audience, getting them to watch more, recommending content, having the discussions that you want to have down in the comments section, doing the research with the keyword research tool, so that when you go to make another video, you know the kinds of things that they want to see. You know the kinds of videos that connect with them. You know the way that you should title those videos, because people have told you these are how they search for things. All of this ties together, really understanding viewer behavior and engaging with that behavior and trying to leverage it to grow your channel is really what will make your channel jump ahead and grow faster as you try to build it over time.
Exactly. This is so important. Start with your core audience, your active subscribers, your active viewers. They don't even have to be subscribed for that, right?
Nope.
Some just binge watch your videos with the links that we just explained. And they keep getting served up in the home feed, in particular, new videos that you publish. They never click the subscribe button.
Yeah, and I don't have channels come to me and they'll pay for like a channel consultation. So we'll spend the day going through their content and looking at some of their things, seeing where we can improve, developing a strategy for their particular channel. And I haven't subscribed to the channel. I come back tomorrow, and guess whose content is all over my homepage? That channel, because YouTube is not looking at me as a channel consultant. They're looking at me as a viewer and trying to recommend content based on my watch history to see if they can get me on the hook to watch more.
Exactly. And since I see there are questions from very small channels, it's really something that I recommend you all do very early on. Linking your videos, thinking about your videos as an archive. Every time you do a video, a new video, think about what could you recommend next? Because the more videos you produce, chance gets higher and higher that even by coincidence, not even planning that out beforehand, you will have videos in your archive that are a perfect fit to watch next, and then start recommending that. Even if you have just a few views on your videos yet, you can slowly make more and more of that by training the algorithm and also the viewers what to watch on your archive. And if you are longer in the game like I am, I certainly know my first videos are not watched anymore by my new active subscribers, because they don't have the time to go back that far into my archive. That is what I can do. at this point to say like, yeah, 2 years ago, I already did a video on this particular topic. Here it is. So I also don't hesitate to give video links in my comments as responses. I mean, this is not the powerful strategy that we just explained with the, what brought you to 100K subscribers, but the basic thinking that your videos work well together and they complement each other and it makes sense to watch them together. This is a basic thinking that is really helpful to do early on because then you can get more out of your existing videos than just, banking on the success of each new video that you publish. And again, when you are linking up your videos, funnel your viewers to other videos to watch, then we have in the end, like we began in the beginning with the common issue, you have a viral video that gives a bump in your channel, a lot of views, like not really millions of views, but 5 to 10 times more views than you usually get on your videos. And these views that you get, they start to watch other videos of yours in your archive next. And this way, the bump of views get dispersed into other videos in your archives and rises the views of the other videos as well. Yep. So even if you don't have the critical mass of triggering the suggested videos with a few hundred viewers all going to episode 2 of your series, for example, even then you already benefit from a few viewers watching more videos next, discovering more about your channel, being more likely to subscribe, getting more views on other videos, all that. So it is a technique that will get stronger and stronger the more you grow. But in the very beginning, below 100 subscribers, you already benefit from that. So it is something that is a good idea to include into your thinking process early on when planning your videos. What could people watch next? Yep. Because then in the last 30 seconds or so of your video, you can do a little pitch, explain why they should watch the other video next, and then point to their end screen element where they can just click and continue watching.
Like an investment strategy, right? Nobody starts today and has $1 million in the bank, right? You go, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a few dollars away, right? And I know those few dollars are going to gain a little bit of interest from the bank. Then I'm going to take a few more dollars, and every year I'm going to keep putting in a little more, like every day, every week, every year. And over time, what happens is you've built something that the return on that investment is going to be substantial, and you'll see it because YouTube growth is cumulative and it's exponential, meaning the more content you have on your channel, it's not linear. If you're driving, like a couple of months ago, I was driving about 15,000 views every 48 hours, give or take. I said, on a 48-hour period, I'm like, I want to try to hit 20,000 every 48 hours, meaning 10,000 views a day. You have that 48-hour real-time views for your whole channel. I was at like 15. I'm like, I'm going to set a new goal. I want to break 20. Well, now my channel, this was only a few months back. It was 4 months ago. I worked so hard to beat that goal that now I drive about 60 to 70,000 views in a 48-hour cycle, and as much as 100,000 in 48 cycles. So I've hit as much as 50,000 views in a day just by focusing on it and building content and going, listen, I'm going to keep making strong content that every time that new piece does well, that, like Nico said, all the other content starts getting recommended more. Stay focused, stay laser focused on that viewer and keep super serving them. So every new piece of strong content that I put out that connects, it increases the chances of the other strong content that is similar on my channel being recommended more. And you can start really seeing like exponential growth. You'll just start seeing the growth you have today will be stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And you'll look back and go, wow, I can remember when I was driving, if I got 100 views on a video in a day, I was excited. Now I'm getting, 10,000 views on a video in a day. And even that I want to beat, even that I want to do better than.
Exactly. This is how the effect works. It is a long game, which, as interests. Yeah, this is a good analogy. And by the way, Anthony just had a great question about this. Should you go back to your 200 plus, I think you said, videos in your archive and update the links? Of course. I mean, you could, but it's a ton of work, right?
You know what I would recommend there, Nico? Sorry for interrupting. What I would do is this. Go into your analytics, go right into your dashboard, and you will see that YouTube will tell you whatever given time frame, it defaults to 28 days. It will tell you what content on your channel is performing well today. For the last 28 days, you can expand to 90. Instead of looking at 200 videos on your channel, go, let me look at the top 10, top 15 videos on my channel that I know right now in the last month, 3 months have been driving views and have been connecting with my audience. And let me focus on getting those optimized. Let me put those together into playlists. Let's make sure that those strong ones are recommending the other strong content that YouTube is already telling me is connecting because I'm getting the views and people are watching it. Use your channel. Listen to your channel. It will tell you what's connecting. Don't feel like you got to dig 200 videos back because, like Nico said, he's got content on his channel that he knows is older. It's from a long time ago. There's new features. That stuff probably doesn't connect. He's got stronger content right now that performs today. Look at that. Look at that stuff and connect those strong videos that are doing well today with each other. Focus on those first.
A very good idea. This is really just the top video list that you see when you click in the YouTube studio right on analytics, and it shows up right away. I don't have, unfortunately, it open now, and I have two-factor authentication, so it would take too long to open it up. But I hope you know what Daniel just meant, which page.
And the other way to find that too, if you want more videos, when you open up YouTube Studio Beta, on the left-hand drop-down menu, it says Analytics. Click on Analytics. And on that big graph right at the top, on the lower left, it says See More. It's in blue. If you click on that, it will open up your top 50 videos performing for that time period in order of performance based on watch time and views. So that's a really good way to find even more in order of the top performing ones down. That's where I like to live, right in the dashboard, and then right in that see more of the big graph in analytics. That'll really get you tuned into what's performing.
Just to give you an idea, a similar thing that we can show publicly here, for example, when we go back to Daniel's channel, again, I went to the videos, and then here we have sort by and most popular. Yeah. So this is not exactly the same report as in Studio, because some of those most popular videos may not drive views anymore, but the same idea. You have your top performing videos. Make sure that at least the top 10, 15, whatever you have time for to work on, are linked up properly. Yeah. Oftentimes your best performing videos are quite old, and maybe you didn't have this strategy of linking your videos in mind back then. And sometimes I was surprised myself that I didn't even have an end screen there. So this was a lost opportunity for me. And you can do that afterwards and fix that basically, right? So yeah, focus on the top performing videos. And this way you can quickly get a little boost, you know? It's probably the case that if you do it right, with the description link, pinned comment link, with the card and the in screen, do all four ideally. Yeah, whatever matches works.
There's a question in the chat right here. Let's grab that while we're here, Nico.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Sampson says, what about changing out thumbnails if the CTR is below 2? On the platform, the average across the platform for CTR is 2 to 10%. The thing you need to realize, Elizabeth and everybody, is that CTR as a standalone metric doesn't make sense unless you put it in context of impressions. If you only have 100 impressions on that video and it's got a 40% CTR, you might go, that's a great CTR. But what happens is when YouTube serves your content out more, your CTR is going to drop, because the more content gets pushed out, the more chance it's going to be served to people who aren't the right fit for that video. Someone like Mr. Beast, I saw his data. Nico and I were together at Vid Summit. Mr. Beast showed his data, billions of impressions, but his CTR was like 4.7. And some people are like, that's not a very good CTR. Yes, it is. For 1 billion impressions, that's a huge CTR. So you have to understand, don't get caught up in one metric. What you really want to look at is when you publish a video, see if people are watching it. Are they clicking and are they watching? If you publish a video and typically you get, let's say 100 views in the first day, if you publish a video that only gets 20 in that, and you're going, this isn't really getting the clicks, think about, was your target off? Maybe what you were talking about, topic wasn't what people really wanted to see? Was your thumbnail off? Was the title off? Because CTR isn't just thumbnail. It's packaging, target, title, thumbnail. It's how the whole thing comes together, and if it engages the person to compel them to click and watch. Okay, so really think about that. Look more, step back and get perspective. Don't press your nose against your analytics so much that you're like, oh, my CTR is too low, because the video could be getting a ton of impressions, and that's why the CTR is low, because it's going through the roof. Think about, step back and go, are people watching it? Is it connecting? Yes. If it's not, yeah, think about going back in there and tweaking it a bit.
And that is also exactly the answer for what you just asked, Grateful Glamper. This is the more your video gets shown to a broader audience, the more unforgiving the audience becomes, right? In the beginning, you have your active subscribers. They are already your fans. They will basically click almost any video that you publish. You don't even have to have a great thumbnail, even though you shouldn't be lazy. But the more it is shown to a broader audience, the more people don't know your channel yet, the more they aren't fans of your channel yet, and the better you have to do a work. Also, maybe the algorithm promotes it to people who turn out to be not interested in this video topic in the first place. So it's not only your fault in this case, but it is natural the more it's spread around larger audience that fewer and fewer people click. It's just natural there, not necessarily bad.
There's a thing that I do in the dashboard. I think you guys have all seen it. YouTube now allows us to see our real-time analytics. And within 3 hours, you can see how your video is performing against the top 10 of your most recent for a number of metrics, including CTR. You only get to see views up to the 3 hour mark. And at 3 hours, it starts showing you CTR and some more metrics in there. One thing I like to do is I just start to learn, what does a good performing video on my channel look like? I learn my channel. I learn to listen to it. And I know if I publish a video and it's driving solid views and it's getting a 13% CTR in that initial launch or better, I know I've got strong packaging, good target, good title, good thumbnail. If I look at it and it's not driving a lot of views and the initial CTR after 3 hours is like 6 or 7%, I know I've missed the target. I did something wrong. Keep in mind that sometimes YouTube doesn't gather all the data properly. You have to give it a moment to make sure it's being processed and presented accurately. But I really try to watch and see what's going on and say, if I missed the target, I'll switch a thumbnail or a title, 30 minutes in. If I feel like I put something out there and it's just not going anywhere, I may have missed the target. So yeah, don't be afraid to learn to listen to it. The end of the day, you don't have to really, it takes nothing more than looking how much people are clicking and watching to understand if you've done a good job.
Exactly. And probably you wonder how Daniel found out which numbers are good or bad for him. This is just comparing your videos. Yeah. And
I get to learn. If I've done it enough, I watch that data and I learn. I've learned that when I have videos that have done 10,000 views in the first 10 hours, I look and I go, wow, I know those videos out of the gate tend to drive like a 13% or better CTR in the first 3 hours. And I go, boom, that's a winner. That's good packaging. That's good targeting. That's good titling. Leave that alone. Let's leave that right where it is.
Yeah. And for me, for example, it would be 8%. Yeah, I'm way not as good as you are. And but I know if I get 8% in the first day, let's say, then I did a good job. Yeah. And when it's 5% or 4%, then I know I could have done it better.
I've got lightning and thunder rolling in here, so if I lose you soon, I know we're getting near the end here, but I'm just warning you. We got storms in my area. They hear us talking. They hear us giving away YouTube secrets, and they're like, "That no more of that. No more of that."
We crashed that. Awesome. Yeah, I hope this really helped. Great questions. I think, yeah, if you have some more. Again, this will become available as a replay. You got the email about the new features. You hopefully know how to use them, right? They don't appear as very important when you first look at them. Let's just recap real quick. So for those who didn't join in at the very beginning, we have...
Yeah, so to be clear, we're on tab 4 of the keyword research tool. Okay, so
Exactly.
this is after you've done your research in 3, you've brought your keyword target over, you've expanded, and you're starting to expand your title, write your description, write your tags, and even start creating your pinned comment.
Exactly. So we can include video links here, which I don't have in this case, with the insert video link thing here, now easily accessible. And the same thing for the pinned comment. So you can add it to your video once it is published, or as we found out, when you have it unlisted as first, you can already put it in there before the video goes live. So this way, with the end screen, the cards, the pinned comment, and if as well a link in the description if you want, you can motivate your viewers to watch a video next. And again, it's all about understanding your viewers and motivating them to watch. It's not, manipulating your viewers. You have to stir an emotion, an intriguing thing that they are motivated to click the video next. And here, for example, was just a quick idea for this stream to link you to a video that explains you that it's actually possible to make it happen for small channels as well. It's not just a good thing for large channels. So this would be my pitch here, why you should watch this video next.
Yeah, be compelling, like Nico said. Be compelling. Try to grab that viewer. Try to catch their eyes as they're rolling through descriptions and going down to the comments or in your cards and end screens.
Exactly.
That's another thing too. One last piece of advice I would give you. When you use your cards, make sure you're using a teaser text, because in the cards, you have the ability to post a card, but you can put a teaser text that pops out. And if you don't put something in, it'll just pick whatever is there, but you can use that to write a compelling line. Want to learn more about how to use Morningfame to grow your channel? That pops out, people go, well, yeah, that's a great teaser text, right? So that's exactly. You can get I know that my click-through rate on my cards is about just under 20%, which just goes to show you how you can really motivate people to click. 20% is insane for getting amount of clicks to cards. But I always try to be real compelling. I try to put the right thing there that fits, curated so it fits with the video that I'm showing. Definitely use all of these things together and use that new feature in tab 4 of Morningfame. It's easy to see it. It's right there. I swear, if you can do this and do it consistently, you'll start seeing growth on your channel as more of your content gets clicked by these viewers and more of your content begins to get recommended to those types of viewers. It's really, really powerful.
Alongside each other. Exactly. The web of videos, people discover your channel, and then they get sucked in to your whole archive, ideally watching 3-4 videos in a row, right? And if you made this happen, then you will see that you suddenly sometimes have people commenting on your videos, like 8 comments in a row from one video to the next video to the next video. If that happens to you, then you know you made it right. Then you have arrived at some points. I sometimes get that, and I bet you get it even more often, Daniel. So you just see from the comments itself that people clearly binge-watched your video.
Yeah.
Of course, more than just those who leave the comments do it actually, but it's kind of the tip of the iceberg. If you make that happen, if someone did this, thank them for them, because they got you proof that you are on the right road to not only have an engaged audience, but also teach the algorithms to reinforce their viewer behavior, to recommend the same thing to other viewers who didn't start binge watching your videos yet. You just get so much more out of it in the long run. All right, great stream. Daniel, thank you so much for being here. It's really a pleasure. And of course, by inspiring me to even add these features in the first place. I mean, it's all a thinking process. It seems so simple at first. Pin comment, okay, what's all about that, right? But this is a whole strategy. This is kind of like jump-starting the whole process in getting you into recommended, right?
I love it. Streamline these channels. So yeah, Nico, as always, thanks for making such a great tool. Thanks for, if you are not a member of the Facebook group, Morningfame. The actual name is Morningfame Early Access. Am I correct?
Exactly.
Make sure that you go onto YouTube, onto Facebook, and find the Morningfame Early Access group where you can start learning more about these tools even before some of the other people will be served it. Nico's always there to answer questions, also in the comments here. But it's a great group to learn more, not just about Morningfame, but about how to grow channels on YouTube. So yeah, super important, and a great group to help move your quest forward on the path for YouTube growth.
Perfect. And yeah, Daniel is, by the way, in the group as well and responding there as well. And he also has a group coaching. You do YouTube consulting, right? Your prices are really good, by the way, if you want one-on-one consultancy. Just recently, someone responded via email. Yeah, link in the description.
I've got danielbatal.com right there. You can book consultation.
Yeah, this one exactly said like it was a game changer. When Daniel gives you his attention, it's crazy. And but of course, if one-on-one consulting is too much for you, he has a channel membership now. You get it with 100,000 subscribers, right? Or
they've changed that. It used to be, it was supposed to be 50, but they've been changing it up. But yeah, I have the channel memberships now. It's not available in all areas. They're still rolling it out. But if you go to my channel or any of my videos and you see a join button down by the subscribe button, that means it's available to you. It's $4. It's one level, $4.99 a month. You can quit at any time. We have our own coaching group on Facebook that comes with it. There's personalized members-only content that only members can see that help you optimize your channels and get them set up for growth. We have our own members-only live streams where I go deep into channels and pull up strategies. I pull up your videos. We talk about what you need to do individually as a member. So it's a really, really affordable way. If you can't afford the full consultation, but you need some help along the way, or if you've done a consultation with me and you want some aftercare along the way to implement the things we've talked about, it's just something I put together that's just really affordable that viewers can really start kickstarting their channels and get them growing faster.
Exactly, and this is Daniel always over delivers.
I hope so.
This is really the trick. This is also goes down in the decision what videos you do on your channel with the mindset what viewers really want to have. The same with your consulting. Your channel itself is of course about video editing only at this point, at least. What he does behind the scenes is changing really the onset for small channels. It's crazy. I got so much great feedback already. His private group with the membership program, the Battalion, right? Members.
The Battalion, yeah.
Battalion members. It's such a lively community. It's no surprise, actually. I did this video about how to drive up your comments on your channels with featuring your examples on your previous channel for a reason, because you really know how to build audiences, how to get people together so that really everyone is happy. A win-win for everyone, right?
I do understand this. Thank you for the kind words.
If you don't take anything away from Daniel's advice, following him along teaches you how to engage with communities the right way. It's you stand out from the crowd like crazy. I really learn a lot from you how social media and connecting to audiences done the right way.
Thank you. So listen, let's wrap this thing up and let's do it in the way that we've been teaching people it should be done. Nico, listen, if you've enjoyed what you've learned here today, make sure you click the video that is going to be on screen now or the ones that Nico's going to pin down below. All right. But make sure that you ask any questions you might have in the comments section. And Nico, thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you too. See you all in the comments section later. And it was such a pleasure. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Peace. Have a good day. Cheers.